So this is our feature. Rumour has it. It's about the rumour mill. Me and Rory going to have a transfer rumour read to us and we'll decide whether it's a good move for both the player and the club involved. Our assistant producer Luke Henry's with us. Go on, Luke, what you got?
Oh, we'll start off straight away with striker chat, as we always like to start off. So let's do with Ollie Watkins. And I'm not going to say Arsenal Football Club, I'm going to say Manchester United, in case Rasmus Højlund leaves. What do you reckon?
Over to you, mate.
What?
Yes.
Wait,
So Watkins to Man United?
Watkins to Manchester United, that is just not what they need at all, is it?
Well, they don't need a proven goal scorer in the Premier League?
No, they don't. Look,
hold on.
They don't need Ollie Watkins. There's no way that Ollie Watkins can be the answer to elevate Manchester United back to their former glory. Ollie Watkins isn't that player. Look, whether he's better than Rasmus Højlund or not, this would be so underwhelming for Manchester United fans, surely.
But isn't this not the same Ollie Watkins that comes in conversations when Arsenal are talking about
I extend the same courtesy to Arsenal that I'm extending to Manchester United here. Manchester United and Arsenal are far better than Ollie Watkins.
So what is Ollie Watkins' level? Is he... I mean, this is a guy that's got 75 goals in the Premier League and I think 34 assists.
Don't try and stat me up.
He statted you up.
Come on, don't do that. You're better than that, Luke
I'm
Henry.
not better than that, but
you're better than that. Okay, you are better than that.
But Ollie Watkins hasn't. I believe it might be right. Ollie Watkins, I don't think has. Since he's joined the Premier League, he hasn't scored below 10 goals.
Do you rate Watkins? I'm talking seriously here. Do you actually rate him? I think he's a very good Premier League player. Do you see him as anything more than that?
I think he's a very good. I think he's what you call a proven Premier League striker, and the current context that Manchester United are in, I think he's a significant improvement on what they have.
Is Chris Wood a proven Premier League striker?
No, Chris Wood's had one very, very good season. Ollie Watkins has had 4 very, very good seasons. Last season, he got 16 goals and 8 assists, and some will say that's a poor season by his standards. I think that shows the level within the striker.
I happen to agree with Rory. It doesn't feel like a natural fit to me, Watkins to Manchester United. They need striker, they need goals. For me, the age profile for Watkins is what goes against him. I think he's good, I think he's talented, but for the money that Villa would want to bring in, I think he's 29. I think he turns 30 at Christmas. And I don't see an elite Premier League club. And when I say that, I mean basically the Champions League lots are the ones just above where he is currently with Aston Villa. I don't think they're going to come in for him. But at the same time, it's either Ollie Watkins or the people around him that seem to believe that he's ready for that next step. So I don't quite know where he ends up, whether it's stay at Villa and be happy and score goals, or take a sideways step. I don't see him making the leap
You're an Arsenal fan. You're a passionate Arsenal fan who goes over there week in, week out, follows them home and away.
Yeah.
Right. When you have been chronically in need of a centre forward, which you are currently, do you want to sign Ollie Watkins?
Want is an interesting word.
Don't get clever with me. You've done it with stats and now you're doing it with vocabulary.
No, if you're asking me, do I want to... I think it's completely different. I think if you're asking me to sign Ollie Watkins to take us over the line to win us the Premier League, then that's different. But if you're looking at Manchester United and you're saying the front 3 next season could consist of Brian Mbeumo, Mateus Cunha and Ollie Watkins, I think that's a very good front.
He's argued you well with words. What's the next one?
The next one is moving away from Manchester United to Liverpool. Could Luis Diaz be on the way to Bayern Munich? Bayern Munich have also been looking at Brighton's Karim Matoma. What do you make of Luis Diaz?
I think he'd rip it up in that league. And I think with Luis Diaz, it feels to me either he or the people around him want him to be the number one focus at a club. And I don't think he's going to get that when he plays for the same club as Mohamed Salah. The success rate of players going from the Premier League to Bayern Munich in what I think is an easier league, once you scratch away the top 2 or 3, I think he would rip it up. Whether or not Bayern Munich would want to pay the money to get him, I don't know.
I think it'd be a good signing for Bayern. And I think the way that Liverpool are running their club, the money that they've spent, they're obviously FSG, the Fairway Sports Group, they're trying to turn a profit, trying to be a business-like club and be that way with the direction that they travel in the boardroom. I think everybody, apart from certain notable exceptions, is for sale. And if they think that they could recoup a lot of money via Luis Diaz and the sale of him, particularly when you're not selling him to a Premier League rival, I think that this one could happen. He's an excellent player, Diaz. I rate him highly.
Just quickly on that then, if he ever said, say Diaz did go to Bayern Munich, and we've talked about Florian Wirtz that can occupy in the 10 channel and obviously on the left-hand side, could that open up a room for Harvey Elliott to stay at Liverpool, perhaps?
The question would be, can Harvey Elliott realistically replace what Luis Diaz brings to that team? So Luis Diaz last season, when you think about the season that he had, he was decent, scored probably 15 Premier League goals, something like that. Is Harvey Elliott capable of playing to that standard? I probably don't think he is. And the other thing that I think would be a red flag and something that would suggest that outlook won't be adopted by Liverpool, I don't think Arne Slot fancies him.
Yeah, fair.
I just don't think he's in the plans. I think that if there's one thing that he lacks, it's the pace. And I just don't think that Arne Slot can rationalise that and have him in the squad.
13 goals, 5 assists last season, Luis Diaz in the Premier League.
That's
36
quite good.
Quality.
Pretty good,
Yeah,
yeah.
pretty good. From one South American player to another, Christian Romero. His name has been hot on topic. Maybe Atletico Madrid could be a potential destination. Just how big is it for Spurs to keep their vice-captain?
Big. Very big. Because he's an angry, snarling brute of a player. And I don't think they have a lot of those in the Tottenham team. Players, I mean, it's difficult, isn't it, when you say proven winners and all that sort of thing. They went and won a trophy, so you can't belittle that. The whole team is full of winners now. But he is one that will kick every player, win every ball, often get red card for it. But, you know, I think they really have to keep him, and I think they have to keep Van de Ven, and they have to try and keep Van de Ven fit. Ultimately, if Tottenham are going to maintain themselves as a Champions League club and climb back up that Premier League.
The only way that this can make sense, the only way that it makes sense, certainly from a Tottenham perspective, is if they lose Romero, and it does feel like the move to Atletico Madrid. It feels like it's written in the stars, doesn't it? Linking up with Simeone, he's such an Atleti sort of player. The only way that that can be acceptable from a Tottenham perspective is if they go and sign Mark Gahey or something along those lines. Then I think it's fine.
But you know that Levy will get the money. If they're going to countenance a sale, it comes at a price.
They will get the money, absolutely. But they will have to spend because they cannot be relying on, I don't know, Dragerson, Ben Davis. They will have to go and sign somebody like Mark Gahey. And Gahey is England's best defender. Yep. So that's the kind of quality that Tottenham would have to sign in order to replace him.
Well, they were linked with Jack Bransford, weren't they? But he looks like he's going to stay
at Everton,
sign a new contract at Everton. Maybe some more game time ahead of the World Cup. Last one, Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Where next? Free agent now after leaving Everton. Top end championship, or could he still do it in the Premier League?
I mean, I'm going to ask him later about a link maybe to Arsenal on a pay-as-you-play performance contract. I think Burnley need goals in a kind of Ross Barkley to Luton, come here, shine for a year, sign a 1-year deal. If you perform and we get relegated, you go. If you perform and we stay up, you stay.
I would say that if you're pinning your hopes on survival in the Premier League on Dominic Calvert-Lewin, you are as good as relegated now. I think that anybody who would even consider signing Dominic Calvert-Lewin when there is serious jeopardy is rolling a dice that doesn't need to be rolled. The likelihood with signing Calvert-Lewin is you fail. The likelihood is he doesn't score any goals. The likelihood is he doesn't score enough goals. That's what history has taught us about him. Aside from one purple patch, half a decade... How long ago was
5
that?
years.
Half a decade ago. Half a decade ago, we had a purple patch under Carlo Ancelotti. Apart from that, it has been totally underwhelming and totally insignificant.
I don't want to stats you, but we did look at it earlier, didn't we? And he'd had 2 seasons scoring double figures in a 9-season Premier League career.
I just don't get it with Calvert-Lewin. I really don't. I just don't see him as an answer to anyone's problems. Like, I've seen him linked with some quite significant football clubs as well. I think it's been linked that Newcastle are interested. I think it's absolutely ludicrous.
We don't have much time. Which club do you link him to?
I'd say Sunderland. I say, yeah. Or also, I do look at the like of Frank Lampard. I look at what he did with Ellis Sims. So maybe Coventry, maybe something like that.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Coventry, QPR, that level football club, Premier League club.
But he is a free though, and I do think
it'll cost you a lot of money because you get relegated.
On that bombshell, Luke. Top performance from you. I quite enjoyed that. You listen to Transfer Insiders on talkSPORT. We have to leave it on that note. With Ladbrokes 18+, begambleaware.org.
talkSPORT Breakfast, waking you up Monday to Friday morning from 6 a.m. on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.